Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of the most offensive podcast ever. I'm Slimmy V, and today I want to kind of dive into Malcolm X's ideology, him talking about celebrities, uh, you know, and how do black people sustain themselves. Okay, so in this clip, and look, man, I'm just trying to learn as much as you to hear his perspective, his point of view, and during that time. And I know we're in 2022 right now, but it's nice to hear the perspective back then and how would that apply in today's time. But in this clip, he speaks on celebrities and separation. Malcolm X claims celebrities are used as political puppets in order to control the masses. And in a different clip within that same clip, he also answers what would be the ideal solution to the racial problems in the United States. Now remember, he is talking from a different time. Okay? So take it with a grain of salt. But, I think it's kind of fun to kind of figure out would what he says then still apply today. So let me just roll this clip, man. I'm kind of excited and, to hear his response.
Now, concerning the poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players.
Did he say who? I just thought he said, hold on. Wait, let me just start it over, because, hold up. He mentioned Dick Gregory. That's interesting.
Now, concerning the poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders.
Okay, they went with King against Muhammad. I guess King was basically merging everyone together, and Muhammad was the one that says, black people need to be given their own stuff, or black people need to be given their own lane so they could sustain themselves. So I guess those are the two type of ideologies that we are listening to right now. So let's check it out.
Leaders that they call leaders. This included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And it is an honor, actually, that they endorsed Dr. Martin Luther King and were against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's actually an honor. Now, when you say that they also, in this same Newsweek poll magazine, I think the pollster said that he went into the Negro community and asked about the Muslims. And many Negroes whom he asked said, well, I never heard of the Muslims. Who are they?
This is the rank and file we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Now, when they got down to the rank and file, this was the answers that they got. This is equivalent to the situation in Kenya during the Mau Mau uprising, when many frightened whites in Kenya, Africa, would go among the Africans and ask them, what about the Mau Mau? And the African would say, I never heard of them. And the same white man who would ask the African this question and very naively believe what the African said, when he went to bed that night, he would lose his head. And usually the one who took his head was the same African who told him that afternoon he had never heard of the Mau Mau.
Except in the Newsweek poll, they used Negro interviewers.
Wow. It's very similar to what is happening today. But this is tricky because today we got leaders who people wait to hear from. People such as a LeBron James. They wait to hear from someone such as that to give their opinion on a particular matter or situation that seems to be plaguing the black community. You know, when it comes to cops killing blacks, they seem to use people such as a LeBron James. Who else? Who else is used in that situation? Like a big name. Mm, someone that would align themselves with a Democrat or left leaning mainstream media talking point. Now, someone like a Candace Owen, uh, who goes against the grain, is not seen as a leader of the black neighborhood or the black community. And it's always someone like a LeBron James who is adored and who is risen and put on that pedestal as to be the main mouthpiece for the black people. And he's not all truthful when it comes to speaking on behalf of the blacks. So I see what Malcolm X is saying. But I wonder what would Malcolm X think about Candace Owen, who I think is a strong leader, a, a great leader for the black community. Someone like a Thomas Sowell, who is intellectually brilliant above today's philosopher, white, black, Indian, like you name it. Thomas Sowell is just have this wisdom about him. But because of his conservatism, because of his alignment to the right, the black community as a whole don't even recognize him as the leader, the mouthpiece. So in this respect is where I see Malcolm X is coming from. Where these celebrities sided with MLK. I have no problem with MLK. I thought MLK was brilliant. I thought he believed what he believed, you know? But I see where Malcolm X is coming from. So let's continue.
You'll find that oftentimes Negroes are as much on guard around Negro interviewers, who usually represent the bourgeois element of Negroes, as they are on guard around whites. Usually Negroes know that when this bourgeois Negro walks through the door, he is not doing something that he's initiated himself, but he's involved in something in which the white man is the absolute author of and has sent him to the Negro community for some information. And when they give that Negro some information, usually they give him the information that they want him to take back to the white man, because that's who he's going to take it back to.
4 more minutes.
So today's so-called Uncle Toms, right? I really hate that word because Uncle Tom was actually a freer of slaves, was a warrior for the blacks back then. But let's just use shamble or the word coon, right? So what we consider coon-ish. Today, people consider people like a Thomas Sowell, Candace Owen, Officer Tatum. I gotta put them in that category right now, right? They see these people as coons, but these people are saying, look, we don't need the white man's help. The white man is not bothering us. We could achieve whatever we could achieve on our own. We're not being held back. Now, in Malcolm X's time, that may have been so. But let's continue listening, because what we deemed as a sellout back then may not be deemed a sellout today. But let's take a listen, because that's not his words, right? So I'm saying he must have said that Dick Gregory, who a lot of people in the black community regard him as an honorable type of person, a person who speaks truth, a man who has earned the respect of the black community. I mean, would he consider Dick Gregory like a clown, as being a celebrity that sided against his side? Like, wow.
Uh, our time is just about up, Minister Malcolm, and perhaps you could summarize and conclude by giving us, in your opinion, or in the opinion of Mr. Elijah Muhammad, what would be the ideal solution to the racial problem in the United States today?
Well, on Thursday, October the 3rd, the New York Tribune, in an editorial, pointed out in Boston, in an article called The Civil Rights Iceberg, they pointed out how Kennedy had realized that beneath the water, the civil rights whole problem was political suicide. Because in his own hometown, the head of the Board of Education, a woman named Mrs. Hicks, was running against the NAACP philosophy, and she swept aside all other opposition. The whole white community supported her in opposition to the NAACP's desire for integrated schools, integrated housing, and otherwise.
Wait. What? Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Let me rewind that.
Mrs. Hicks was running against the NAACP philosophy, and she swept aside all other opposition. The whole white community supported her.
Supported her in opposition to the NAACP. That was primarily the black leaders, right?
In opposition to the NAACP's desire for integrated schools.
Supported the NAACP desire for integrated schools. Whoa, what?
Integrated housing and otherwise. So I say that to say this, that even the Jewish community, which is supposed to be pro-liberal, went against the NAACP. Whites are against integration.
Whites are against integration. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
In practice, but they're for it in principle.
In practice, but they are for it in principle. Explain.
So the only solution is separation. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that this can be brought about simply by letting our people be exposed to the truth about ourselves, about the white man, about our history and our condition in this country. And once we are exposed to the complete truth about things as they actually exist in this country, the masses of black people will choose complete separation from this entire...
The masses of black people will choose complete separation. Okay, the white folks will choose to be segregated from the blacks.
system, political system, economic system, social system, and whatever other aspect or description you or adjective you want to attach to it. Let us go back home to our own people, live among our own kind, and solve our own problems ourselves. And if the white man doesn't want us to go back to our own people and live in our own country, then since we can't get along together in peace on this country with white people, let us separate part of this continent, migrate to that separate territory, let the government give us everything we need to establish our own independent economic system and society, and thereby we'll be able to solve our own problems ourselves and prove that we are human beings and a part of the human family and can do for ourselves what other humans have done for themselves. And then we'll be able to stop blaming the white man for what he has done and stop begging the white man to solve our problems. We'll be able to solve our problems ourselves.
Wow. I want y'all to drop a comment below as to what do you think of what Malcolm X was saying. Now, I know this was a different time because in his time, he faced what we call real physical racism. Okay? Right now, we are having a lot of made up, created racism. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, right? Because there's one thing that we can't change. It's how people think and how people feel. I can't change that, right? A white man may hate me, may be racist against me, may have odd feelings towards me, right? But may act in a way that he is cordial towards me, right? So even though he is acting in a way that is conducive for us to live as a people together, right? I cannot change his inner thoughts or and how he feels about me. So if he's racist, it's like, that's you. But according to the laws that's put in place in this land, it is against the law to refuse me certain things because of the color of my skin. Therefore, because of how things are right now, we do not have an excuse for a particular downfall. Because if the white man goes against these laws and it is found out that he is manipulating the laws, the rules and regulations in order to deprive me of my rights, then he will be found guilty in the court of law. And if the judge sides with him, there have been judges, and it's reported throughout history, even recent history, that if they were somehow found to be racist or have done something that is unlawful, then they too will get thrown out. So we do have laws, as in those times, that may not have been the case. But tell me what you think about what he said. And I'm curious as to what you think about what he said about Dick Gregory. I'm really curious about that. I mean, as always, this is the most... Oh, wait. I actually don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video, if you like my commentary. I mean, I am in awe as to what I just watched. So I'm looking for your thoughts. Do you want me to do more videos like this? Share this video, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so whenever I do drop a video, you get notified. I'm Slimmy V, and this is the most offensive podcast ever. God bless, stress less, and let Yahweh do the rest. I'm out. Peace.